Dear students, welcome to the MOOC on India's foreign policy in a globalizing world. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about India's relation with Pakistan. Main objectives of this lesson are to analyze the historical, political and cultural factors that have shaped the complex relationship between India and Pakistan, to examine key events and conflicts such as the Kashmir War, the 1965 war and the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, to understand their impact on bilateral relations, to assess the role of nuclear test in 1998 in shaping the security dynamics between India and Pakistan and their consequences on international diplomacy, and to explore the influence of external factors, particularly China's involvement on India-Pakistan relations and its implications for regional stability. We begin with the first part of the lesson, in which we will discuss about the background to the initial relationship between India and Pakistan, the Kashmir War and the 1965 war. The India-Pakistan relationship is intricate, shaped by historical, political and cultural factors. While there have been efforts to enhance relations and address issues, progress has been slow with occasional setbacks, making it one of the most challenging and sensitive matters in international diplomacy. India and Pakistan have successfully resolved certain conflicts, but remain deadlocked on the Kashmir issue. Resolved conflicts include the division of assets post-partition, property redistribution, river water distribution post-partition, Kutch boundary demarcation in 1996 and the Salal Dam agreement in 1978. They have also signed agreements like the Tashkent agreement in 1966, the Simla agreement in 1972, the non-attack agreement on each other's nuclear installations in December 1988, advance notice for military exercises and maneuvers in April 1991, prevention of airspace violations in April 1991, a joint declaration on the complete prohibition of chemical weapons in 1992 and the Lahore Declaration in February 1999. The main issue between these two nations is not the failure of confidence building measures, but rather deep-seated mistrust, suspicion and a lack of mutual acceptance. Few countries in the world share as many commonalities as India and Pakistan. Just a few decades ago, these two nations were a single Indian state under British rule. Geographically and culturally, both countries are closely linked. The people of both nations speak four common languages and share similarities in dress, food habits, customs and ways of life. Two major religions are prevalent in these countries. Muslims form the majority in Pakistan, while they are a minority in India, whereas Hindus are the majority in India and a minority in Pakistan. Surprisingly, their trade with each other is minimal compared to their trade with other countries. India and Pakistan have emerged as major countries in South Asia, both possessing the capability to influence the regional environment. They have maintained a form of bipolarity in the region. However, Pakistan has struggled to establish itself as a strong player capable of maintaining this bipolarity. It has been unable to achieve parity with India, which was one of Pakistan's goals to compete with its larger neighbor. The violent partition of British India in 1947 and the Jammu and Kashmir conflict have profoundly shaped India-Pakistan relations. The partition of British India triggered one of the largest and most tragic human migrations in history. This mass displacement and loss of life had a lasting impact on the subcontinent. The partition led to the mass migration of people along religious lines. A large population of Hindus and Sikhs from Pakistan moved to India, while a large population of Muslims from India migrated to Pakistan. An estimated 10 to 15 million people were displaced, marking one of the most significant population movements in history. Communal violence and ethnic cleansing were rampant during the partition, resulting in brutal attacks and massacres on both sides. These events led to the loss of thousands of lives, with some estimates suggesting up to 1 million casualties. The traumatic experiences of the displaced people, including the loss of homes, possessions and livelihoods, left deep scars in the collective memory of both India and Pakistan, contributing to ongoing mistrust and bitterness that continues to affect their relations. Let us discuss about Kashmir War. The first war between India and Pakistan occurred in 1947 to 1948, primarily over the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. After the partition of British India in 1947, princely states had the option to join either India or Pakistan or remain independent. Jammu and Kashmir was ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh. In October 1947, tribal militias from Pakistan's northwest frontier province, with support from elements in the Pakistan army, invaded Jammu and Kashmir, marking the start of the conflict. In response to internal turmoil and external aggression, Maharaja Hari Singh sought India's military assistance and signed the Instrument of Accession on 26 October 1947, officially integrating Jammu and Kashmir into India. This led to a conflict that lasted until 1948 and resulted in the establishment of a ceasefire line known as the Line of Control, following a United Nations brokered ceasefire. Let us discuss about 1965 war between India and Pakistan. The 1965 war between India and Pakistan was preceded by border skirmishes and clashes which occurred primarily in the Jammu and Kashmir region and along the border areas. The war involved a variety of military operations, including infantry battles, aerial combat and the use of armored and mechanized units. The Battle of Chavinda during this conflict is notable as the largest tank battle since World War II. International diplomatic efforts to end the war were initiated as the conflict escalated, with the Soviet Union and the United States playing key roles in brokering a ceasefire in September 1965. Subsequently, in January 1966, Indian Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri and Pakistan President Ayub Khan met in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, where they signed the Tashkent Agreement. This agreement aimed to normalize relations, restore economic and diplomatic ties, and resulted in both countries agreeing to pull back their forces to pre-war positions. The ceasefire line in Jammu and Kashmir, established after the 1947 to 1948 war, was reaffirmed as the line of control. I hope you understood what we discussed about the background to the initial relationship between India and Pakistan, the Kashmir War and the 1965 war. We will discuss about the East Pakistan War, the Shimla Agreement, the 1998 nuclear test, the Kargil War, the composite dialogue process in 2004, the Mumbai terror attacks and deteriorating relations and continued tensions in the next video. Thank you.